Welcome, welcome everyone to the CCIM Illinois quarterly chat. We have Myra Nimchayong here, CCIM, newly pinned CCIM, here to talk to you all about her amazing journey, funny story to be coming soon about acquiring her pin. Let me just give you a brief history about Myra, if I can do that, because it's extensive. So I'm going to chop this baby a little bit, all right? Her
Thanks.
journey into the world of real estate is a testament to enduring values instilled by her family, who hailed from Thailand but set their sights on Chicago in pursuit of economic and educational opportunities. She's a true Chicagoan from a young age, and she embodies the profound belief that true freedom of mind and body is found through education. I really like that. I really wanted to read that. She mastered a certified negotiation expert, which is a CNE designation, honing her negotiation techniques, understanding psychology of buying, mastering persuasion principles, and crafting meticulous planning methodologies. Her candidacy for the CCIM designation is where she dove into financial analysis, marketing analysis, user decision analysis. You all see where we're going with this, right? She attended UIC's Graduate School of Business with the principles of urban real estate, land economics, further expanding her knowledge and her horizons. Her expertise extends to performing competitive product evaluations, due diligence, ensuring her clients are well informed, and she has the unique ability to showcase and elucidate. I loved that word so much, I wanted to practice it, right? Elucidate the features and benefits of each property with precision that impresses clients. With a commitment to integrity and a deep understanding of this emotional journey that our clients can go through, she forges partnerships that endure for a lifetime. She has charisma. We all know that. And I can't wait till she shares that with you. Without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Myra.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me to do this,
Unmute,
Sean.
unmute. There we go.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
You're good.
Okay, perfect. So thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here, Myra. We can't wait to hear your story.
Oh, it's been a long one coming. This is my 20-year anniversary in the business. So um,
Awesome. That's
been
awesome.
through many different commercial real estate cycles.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Join the club. People are steadily coming in, but we do want to get you started to respect your time, Myra.
Sure.
We have a few talking points. Feel free to take this in whatever direction compels you. But I absolutely want to jump right into it and ask the question that so many people want to know when it comes to commercial real estate or CCIM. Why commercial real estate? And then, of course, why CCIM?
So I started with Century 21 SGR. I got licensed here and I started working here because they were the pioneers in development for the West and South Loops. And we worked on developing Chicago neighborhoods. And the whole reason I got into real estate was because of um, the creation of the West Loop. And I'm a Chicago girl, born and raised. I came here and saw all the things changing in my communities and for the better. And now, West Loop's one of the most affluent neighborhoods in Chicago with a direct lead into the loop. So we developed a lot of mixed use buildings. So that's why leaned into retail real estate. And when I started 20 years ago, there weren't a lot of resources for residential realtors to become commercial real estate brokers unless you joined a large commercial real estate firm. So I found any organization, training that I could find, and CCIM was presented to me by our broker owners. They really promoted education and higher learning. So I took the introduction to commercial real estate. I drove all the way to Kalamazoo because back then you had to go to all the classes in person. So I spent 2 days in Kalamazoo for the introduction to commercial real estate CCIM courses. And then I just followed through. I think over the course of 2 years, I did all of my CI 101 through CI 104 classes that I hear are very different now that I need to retake again. So that's how I got into commercial real estate, was the fact that we started developing mixed use properties and it was retail on the first floor. So,
And it's always an interesting story to hear how people actually get into commercial real estate, whether they have had a deep desire for it or if they just kind of fell into it because it was all around them. What was the reason that you decided that taking that CCIM pathway was the right pathway for you? If I'm not mistaken, when we met, you mentioned that you had already done a lot of those courses before, and then now you came back
mhm.
to actually finish up. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I don't know if you guys remember in like '07, we had this big market crash. I'm sure some of you are a lot younger than that. But so the market crashed and I happened to do all of my CCIM courses, but now I didn't have a portfolio. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get a commercial real estate portfolio anytime soon. So I went back into residential real estate, but I still stayed involved in CCIM, and Chicago Association of Realtors has a commercial forum. And then I joined NICAR, and Northern Illinois Commercial Association of Realtors, just to stay involved in commercial real estate because I still had an interest in doing it. So I went back into residential. That wasn't easy either, full time. And I even had to get a second job because the market was so bad at that time. And when I went back into uh, real estate full time after that, I started doing a little bit more retail deals, smaller retail storefronts, and things like that. And I didn't really have any resources, but all of these organizations to help me guide me through leases and the terminology and how to calculate things. So I figured I should learn that on my own by going through CCIM.
And that's a perfect segue into commercial real estate and how few, not only minority practitioners there were, but women that there are. Do you think your journey in this field from just commercial real estate and then into acquiring the pen, there was some challenges being a female?
Oh yeah. Going back into, or trying to get into the commercial real estate industry as not only a female, but a residential broker going into commercial real estate. Yeah, it's hard to get people to call you back and um, just get to know people in commercial real estate just to try to do a deal with them because they think that you don't know what you're doing. So, and then I was like, well, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I did my CCIM. But it was still hard to get people to call back until I started realizing that I need to get to know other larger brokers that do a lot of commercial real estate. So then I just kind of made friends with people in all these organizations that already do just commercial real estate. And I happen to have a very unique last name. And I remember one time I went to tour a warehouse and I called the broker and he was like, "Oh, you called me before. I've seen your last name. I know who you are." And I was like, "Yes, somebody finally knows who I am."
I love that. I love it. I love it. And so what I'm hearing is building relationships kind of helped you to massage your way into better spaces and places in commercial real estate. What are some
Absolutely.
challenges outside of that that you might have undertaken and actually became or were successful at overcoming?
Um, I perseverance, I guess. Uh, just developing the knowledge for real estate and the transitions of every neighborhood in Chicago, I think really helped me in the beginning, especially with retail, because I went through, the retail revolution too, because after '07 and the market crashing, there was no opportunity for retail real estate anymore. And I was going into a market that needed to be revived. And boy, did it come back. And I think that's a lot of the reason that I like to do commercial real estate is because you breathe new life into it. It could be whatever you or your clients want it to be. And that's the whole reason that I love commercial real estate because no transaction is the same and no property will ever be the same thing ever again.
With leaning into that, what's a way that you found, that you were able to revive not the market? I know you didn't revive the entire market,
Not by
but
myself.
right, right. How did you revive those spaces and places, that you were a part of with your clients? How did you go about doing that? What did that look like?
I started working with small business owners and insurance agents because they have clients who need commercial insurance as well. So I started networking with a lot of insurance agents and they helped me through that transition a lot. And they actually occupy smaller retail spaces as offices. So then, office became um, a retail use and it was like creative office and retail and that's how I started. It was through that. And then, medtail took retail real estate and just blew it up. And that's how retail was revived.
Now we have some new to commercial real estate here. So kind of explain real briefly what MedTel is.
So a lot of medical offices used to be in medical office buildings with hospitals because the hospitals would drive the business there until they realized that having a gorgeous office with floor to ceiling windows and designing their space to look like it's more than just a medical office was dental went into it first and then it just kind of transitioned from there. So now a lot of medical um, businesses are in retail spaces because they realize that the exposure for them was also important.
And a lot of people don't think about medical offices in that way because that's typically office space that you're thinking.
Hmm.
So that's why I kind of wanted you to explain that. And anyone, if you have any questions, populate them in the chat, or raise your hand and we'll call you off mute. Okay. Any questions for Myra? Um, any tips, Myra, from your experiences or resources that you've gathered along the way that might be helpful for someone up and coming in commercial real estate or someone looking to switch, their focus of their asset classes possibly to medtail or retail?
Sure. I also got involved with a lot of the city council and when I worked with developers, we had to do a lot of rezoning. So I got to know a lot of the big architects that are very well known in Chicago. And, I think our business is definitely relationship based. And when now anytime I have a listing in whatever town or village or neighborhood, I'm calling that city official immediately so that I mean, because they probably know first what they want in that space for retail. I mean, even on the larger development industrial sites as well. So I believe that going into and getting to know that the big players that can help you transition a space is it's been key for me.
Yeah. And those chambers and those community leaders,
Oh
they have
yeah.
those relationships too. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So our office is in Westtown, so I am a big part of Westtown Chamber of Commerce. And a lot of these chambers, Westtown used to have a commercial division where we would sit on the committee and we would help the businesses get their licenses and things like that. And we helped decide if that business was going to be viable in the location that they were seeking or not too. There's a lot of chambers that are very involved in the retail aspect of their communities because they want businesses.
Yeah, they're the champions for the way that community looks and feels, right? It's going to attract investment or it's going to detract investors. It's going to
Right.
attract residents and businesses or it's going to detract. So yeah, they're huge. That's a huge. Both of my mentees are on here. Hannah's one of them and she's huge. A huge proponent of joining the chambers, finding out and being involved with them, finding out what's going on in the communities to be able to invest in those spaces and places with their clients and research those. So that's a great point and a great tip to make sure you're in touch with those community leaders and organizations that spearhead the involvement of investments in those communities. Great point. Great point. Um, did you find any resource most helpful for you as far as whether it was a class, whether it was a book, whether it was an event, that was key in the development or the further development of your commercial real estate career?
Oh, I feel like our industry is a constant learning. As you can see, the changes that we've gone through in the last year have been large, and not because we wanted to, but we were impacted by a lot of other legislature too. So um, I am dabbling into a lot of AI now. I took the CCIM AI class, and it's very interesting, all everything that it could do to excel your career. I think that's my next learning aspect on how to implement that into my everyday business. And it was a good class. I took notes. Definitely take it if you can.
Yeah.
It will give you all the AI platforms that will help you do your business better. If I think for me, that's the newest resource that I would definitely promote.
100%. And absolutely thank you for sharing that. If you are not even touching AI, get into it. It's definitely going to be the way of the future if it isn't really already right now. Right now you see people kind of dabbling and playing with the platform, doing pictures and avatars and things like that, but take a deep dive into it to really understand its capabilities because here's an example. I pulled up to Taco Bell. Yes, I do love Taco Bell, no judgment. I pulled up to Taco Bell and I asked for and I only eat the bean burritos for the protein or whatever. So I asked for bean burritos and I like easy beans. I mean extra easy beans. Like I need someone to hear me say extra, extra easy beans, like one slither slab. That's all I need. Just a little bit of cheese, no onions, and give me some red sauce. That's all I want, right? Because I need my protein. I'm low in iron. And I asked for easy beans, and the person said extra cheese. And well, yeah, I did want extra cheese on the side. So yeah, keep that. But I said easy beans. And they say, okay, you want no beans. And I'm like, what is going on? And then as I keep listening, I realize it's an AI operator. And so when they say, is this correct? And I said, no. How can we help you? Can we it started over, and I said, "I wanna talk to a live cashier." And it said, "Getting a live cashier for you, one moment." And my son goes, "How did you know to say that?" I said, "Well, literally almost every prompt gives you that option, and since there's nothing to push here, you have to use your voice." But AI is everywhere, and we don't even know where it is. Had I not asked for something so complex like easy, easy beans and threw it off course, I probably would have never known it was AI.
I had no idea that they have AI at drive-throughs.
I
It is
didn't either.
mind blowing.
And now we know, and personally, I do believe just like a recording, there should be something up there to kinda let you know you're about to engage with AI. So what is that gonna look like on a more
Hmm.
confidential, complex scale in the future? I mean, we really gotta think about this, and especially in commercial real estate, and then how can that benefit us by doing so? So, great point, great point. Just thought I'd share that because it was really bizarre. Um, Now let me ask you if you didn't really touch on it, I kind of want to go a little deeper. Out of all the asset classes, retail is kind of where you landed and even medtail. What do you think about the other asset classes or someone who's looking to maybe switch asset classes or thinking about doing something different or doing them all? What do you
Sure.
think about that? Yeah.
So retail kind of picked me. I was just, and it just, so my parents owned restaurants and I never wanted to be a restaurant owner. So I sell them now. And being with the company that I'm at, they, developed retail. So they kind of just found me. But I have completed transactions in all asset types, except for maybe farmland. I haven't sold any farms yet. I have sold equestrian properties, but not farms. So I I think that for me, I just enjoy the adaptive reuse aspect of it, and it could go through any asset type. Multifamily is not my favorite, but it's everybody's favorite. It's just not mine.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's everybody's favorite nowadays, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, any favorite books? Doesn't even have to be
Favorite,
commercial real estate, just favorite books.
um, I have a lot of favorite books. Go Giver is actually one of my favorites because it talks about connection and abundance and, all the things that enhance our life in real estate or just life in general. It's all about connections. And I've realized that I've become a connector, or maybe I always have been, but um, I try to introduce people and make intentional connections because that's what our industry is all about.
Absolutely,
So
it's a relationship building industry. We're not salespeople. We're either helping people with their business ideas or dreams or goals. We're connecting the relationships. I think I'm a connector as well. I'm always just sharing with someone, hey, this is so and so, you guys should meet, and then going about my business. So appreciate that for sure. See if any questions are in the chat. Do we have anything, Cynthia? I see one. Karen. Karen is actually a part of our DEI committee. How long did it take you to submit your portfolio to CCIM?
should we just get into it?
Get into it. Let's go. You have a story you
um,
wanted to start with first. Did you want to start with your story first and then answer the question?
yeah, I'll start with my story because it'll answer the question.
Okay.
So I took my classes in '06 and '07 and, in marketing, as I said, and I just stopped pursuing it because I didn't have the portfolio when I took it. And I think the requirements have changed. I think they were, for some reason, I think they were more back then than they are now, but I could be wrong. I thought it was a 30 transaction limit initially, but that was so long ago. So I didn't go back into it. And then I started a lot of leadership roles in commercial real estate. And fast forward, I think at about 2015, I went fully commercial. So about 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do my CCIM. I'm going to do my CCIM. I'm going to get pinned. But from what I remember, the portfolio that you had to submit was the full portfolio. And I was like, well, that's a drag. I don't have time to do that. I'm doing all this work. So I moderated a panel last year, and there were a few CCIMs on the panel, some in the audience, and that was when Moses Hall was like, "So you're going to finish your CCIM and get your CCIM," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it during my president year, because that's not a lot already." So fast forward, it's like almost a year, and in June, we were going to the CCIM boat cruise, and I met Shirayu a few months before, and we were talking about it. And then I actually went back and looked. What do I need to submit my portfolio? Because I know I have the portfolio now. I just have to submit it. So I go through and look, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I could do a streamlined portfolio. I don't have to submit all the documents from God knows how. Oh, and then before, I think now it's a limit of 5 years from the date you submit that you can count your transactions for. And I think previously it was like lifetime, right? So now it makes it a lot easier because you can only go through the last 5 years from the date that you submit. So we're on the boat cruise, and Shirayu announces that I'm gonna get my CCIM on the boat. And I was like, okay, this is in June. The next CCIM portfolio submission date was July 25th. So I went through all my transactions, and I don't know if I talked to Cynthia, but somebody. And I was like, so I have 11 transactions for 10 million. And whoever I spoke to, they were like, okay, submit 20. And I was like, damn it. Because you could do 10 transactions for 10 million, but I happen to have 11 transactions for 10 million. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm submitting 20. So from the boat up until July 22nd, which is my birthday, I locked myself in my house. I put my portfolio, my streamlined portfolio together, 20 transactions. I did the first 10, and then I was like, let me just go back and look at the instructions, because there are very detailed instructions to submitting your portfolio. And I did the first 10. I went back and I was like, okay, I think I need to change a few things. So I changed what I wrote for the first 10, and then I completed uh the other half. And I finished the night before my birthday. So on July 21st, I submitted, and I was like, they're probably going to kick it back, but whatever. I submitted it before my date. So I go out and I have a drink that night. Then I see the next morning that they extended the date to August 8th. And I was like, whatever, I already submitted it.
I love it. I love
So
it.
So I submitted it, and then like I want to say like maybe a week later, I got my results. Your portfolio has been approved, and I was like, wow, I didn't even get a kickback.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
it didn't get kicked back. I submitted my portfolio. I signed up for Vancouver, booked my hotel as soon as I could. And then I had to take oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that I had to take two classes before my portfolio submission. It was like ethics and the negotiation. And the day that the last negotiation class before portfolio submission was available, I was traveling. So I traveled a day early, and I sat in the hotel room for 8 hours doing that negotiation class. And then I submitted my portfolio the following week. So um, I sign up for the two review courses, and everyone I spoke to said, oh, if you do the review courses, you have 90% of passing, and you'll be just fine. And I was like, well, I think I forgot to tell everybody that I haven't taken a class in 18 years. 18 years.
Yeah.
So just imagine the transition of technology. I think the coursework is different now. I had stick people in my CI 102 class in the book. There were like stick figures at truck stops. And I was talking to Scott Overby, and he was like, oh, I took that class when you did. And he was like, remember the truck stops? And I was like, yes. He goes, the class is totally different now. So I went to Vancouver. I went a couple days early just so I could see it, and because I've never been there. It's a beautiful city. And then Monday starts the class, and it's like 8.5 hour class. It's supposed to be 8 hours, but it was like 8.5 hours. And I sat there and I felt like I did not sell commercial real estate at all. Like, what am I doing here? Am I really a commercial real estate broker? And I looked like I was lost. So the instructors asked, so how many of you guys are at less than 70% of understanding? And I raised my hand. He was like, so I was like, I'm at about a 5. And then he goes, so tell me why you feel like you're at about a 5. And I was like, well, I haven't taken a class in 18 years, and nobody told me that I should take another class before I came, because things have changed. Like the financial calculator has changed, the
Oh,
coursework has changed.
yeah, yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, I'm here now. I'm going to do what I can. And that night I go back to the room, and I am studying. I order room service. And I think that was a night of the inaugural for Adam Palmer. And I'm sitting there
Okay.
studying, and the fire alarm goes off. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
oh wait, no, that was the next day. Sorry. So that was the funny story that I was going to tell you about. But
Got
so I study, and the next day I go
it.
to class, and it was about leasing, and I do a lot of landlord reps. So I was like, okay, today I don't feel lost. Today I know what I'm doing. So I'm at like 50-50 now. I think I'm going to pass.
There you go.
So the night before, they were like, just, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. So just have a nice dinner and relax. So that was the night I ordered room service, and the fire alarm goes off. And ironically, it's the third time I've been to a conference at a hotel where the fire alarm goes off.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
opened
What are
the
you
door,
doing, Myra, at
I
this hotel?
know, but it's always during a conference. So I don't think it's me. I think it's the people attending. So I guess the CCIM inaugural is a party, and there were like some kind of light works or something that was going on that caused a lot of smoke in the
Oh.
banquet. So that's why the fire alarm went off. It wasn't me. It was the CCIM inaugural. So I
That didn't
saw
shake the
Adam.
nerves up some more.
I know. Luckily, it was my third time, so I was like,
Right.
whatever. So then I see Adam Palmer the next day. I was like, it's the third time that the fire alarm went off. I think it's me. He goes, no, it was me. So if you guys follow Adam Palmer on LinkedIn, he posted a video about it. It's pretty funny.
Oh my goodness.
Um, so then I go and I take the test. The next morning, you have to be there at 7:30. Your test starts at 8, 6 hours, open book. I brought snacks. I think I'm gonna, go to the bathroom and have all this time. I did not get up from my seat or eat at all during the 6 hours. And I it gets pretty nerve-wracking. And the time that you have for each question is not a lot. And I was like getting towards the end, a lot of the questions I knew, but a lot of the questions are computation that I didn't take CI 104 again, that I should have before I took the test. So I just guessed. So I took all 6 hours, and we found out probably an hour later, and then I didn't pass. And I was like, I kind of knew because I booked the next day too. So I booked the 2 extra days because I was like, let me just, because they give you a retake the next morning. The retake the next morning is at 7 a.m. So you're down there at 6:30. And um I felt a little bit more confident, even though I still almost ran out of time because of all the calculations that you have to do for all the questions. And I think there was 130 candidates, and the first night, uh, 19 of us did not pass. And and they give you like a coaching course right after, which was very helpful because I did not take CI 104 for 18 years. So that after the retake, like coaching course after, was really helpful. And I think it really helped me pass the
Oh,
next day. I don't recommend doing that. I do recommend taking all of your classes as close to the test as possible, um, because it is a lot of, uh, for me, what I noticed, like my spreadsheets were the same as CCIM spreadsheets, but you have to calculate the answers the CCIM way. You have to answer all the questions the CCIM way. So, however, you're used to calculating leases or whatever, there's a CCIM way to do it. And that is what the test is based on. And it builds off of that. So, it's very important to if so, I do recommend taking CI 101 and maybe 102 at any point, but 103 and 104, I want to say, are probably the best classes to take right before you're going to test because those are the hardest classes. Am I right? I mean, it's been a while for me, but that's what I noticed in my journey to this test.
yeah, and I'm sure it varies for everyone, but thank you so
Yeah.
much for that transparency because I think that's a lot of people's hang up, outside of the
Mhm.
portfolio, once you have that, now it's this rigorous PhD level coursework, if you will, that a lot of people say and talk about. For me, it's the 101 course, but I'm number challenged, right?
Yeah.
So, but for others, it could be the 104, the 103. So it really varies, and they all touch on various aspects of what you deal with, per se, in commercial real estate. And so taking it right beforehand, I think that matters. One thing you mentioned is that they give you like a coaching session right before. And they also mentioned taking the foundations or the intro or something like that, or the review. I'm sorry, the review
Mhm.
right
Yes,
before.
the course review is key. It
Yeah.
is like a 2 day shotgun through all 4 courses, but it gets right down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
However, I forgot a lot of the coursework because it's been so long for me.
Yeah.
So Um, I think that it is quite important to do it. I mean, it's fine to take CI 101 for sure, or the intro at any point, but if you're about to go through the designation process, it's really important to do those classes as close to your pinning as possible to retain all that information and how the equations are calculated, because it is numbers based. Let's face it, commercial real estate, you gotta kind of know a little bit of numbers.
I mean, just a little bit. I mean, that's literally your buyers, your sellers, that's what it's all about, the bottom line. Will this make me money? Will my ROI be realized over this amount of time? It's not the beautiful building, it's not all of those things like it is with residential. So thank you so much for those tips. I will say we've got about 20 minutes left. We got a couple of questions here. So Anthony Pontarelli said, do you need to take the 101 course first?
I do recommend taking 101 first, because from my understanding and what I remember, 104 is like the extension of 101. So definitely 101 you should take first, but I don't think from 102 to 104 it matters what sequence you go in. But I am actually going to take 104 again now that I'm pinned, because the materials have changed, and I obviously needed a little brush up.
I love that. I love that. You never stop learning. And we want to be the best representatives for our clients, and have the information and the data that we need. I do know the courses used to have to be taken sequentially, and now they do not.
Yes, you're right. I think when I took them, they did have to be taken sequentially. And I love doing things in person. And I will tell you, I highly recommend that you take all these classes in person wherever they are, because
Mhm.
this network of CCIM and the people that you meet is like essential to business for sure. The opportunity to network, to get to know people. Even when I took the courses 18 years ago, a lot of the people in there were not just commercial brokers. Like Walgreens sends their real estate department to CCIM to get trained. So there's a lot of connections to be made in those rooms. So it's
Absolutely.
definitely beneficial to go take these courses in person. I didn't have an option when I took them. So
Yeah. My DEI co-chair, Amy Hall, is on the call, everyone. And she put a note in the chat: tenants, bankers, all of those entities use CCIM trainings for their representatives. It only makes sense. It's the highest designation under NAR, the National Association of Realtors, that you can get for commercial real estate. It's a very prestigious designation and a rigorous process for a reason, right? People actually search for business partners and relationships by sometimes just looking to see who's a CCIM, right? And so, to your point, relationships matter.
yeah, absolutely. I think it, and then I do remember in our course review, there was a gentleman that was newly pinned as well, and he's an investor. So he must be, he does his own deals, but his main focus was investing, but not brokerage.
Absolutely. And to that point, in our mentorship program, we have people who are investors. One guy is actually a wholesaler, right? And coming to get this information because he also wants to move into that lane of commercial real estate. Whatever can happen with residential for the most part can also happen in commercial real estate. And so having that additional lane of expertise can only widen your base of experience. Let's see. No more questions. I'm looking in the chat. Okay, we answered that one. You answered Karen's question. Karen, I hope that answered your question about how long it took her to get her portfolio, along with the funny story and the fire alarm and all of those good things.
I
Um,
think
thank you.
somebody in our CIPS class said that their daughter did it in 7 or 9 months. Did the whole coursework and got pinned in 9 months, I think he said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you
Was that a long
didn't wait
time
as
ago? Was that a while ago?
no, I think it was recently.
Okay.
I think they're in China.
Okay.
So she wanted to beat her dad in getting her designation, and she did it in 9 months, I think she said.
Oh,
So
wow. I can only imagine it had to all be, online, or at least the majority of it. I
yeah, it
mean,
would
it
have.
can be done. Andy Edmonds, who was the, first VP for the institute, did hers in 6 months. She was a
Oh,
speaker
okay.
before, but she had did hers a while ago, and that's when you could find, the classes in person in your place, in your state, back to back to back to back. It's really not like that anymore. You may have one or two in Chicago, and they're so widespread apart, and you may have one in Charleston somewhere, or Texas. And so you either got to invest and fly, or wait till it's online. But if you're an in-person person, you got to wait for those times and when they're available, and then get there, and then get there. Would you say all of this was worth it?
Oh my God, everybody who was a CCIM, you guys definitely deserved it. Man, it was probably, I feel like I really worked hard to earn something. It
I
is
love.
no small fret at all.
Yeah. So you definitely can't take it for granted. And what do you plan to do with it now at this point? I mean, you've been doing commercial all this time. You now have your pen. What do you plan to do? What are your goals?
So the reason I had so much support in me getting my CCIM is because I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college. I don't have a college degree. And my CCIM designation is going to serve as my college degree if I ever wanted a corporate real estate job or, but now I have better opportunities for my clients that are, building businesses that we might sell off in the future because they've built such a large portfolio. So right now it's still client focused, but it is going to serve as my college degree.
Indeed, indeed.
So, Myra, I'm sorry, Sean.
No, no, no. Go ahead,
Oh,
please.
I sometimes I have delays. So, Myra, it's so wonderful to hear your story and to be with you guys this afternoon. What's the most, if you have one, what's the most interesting deal that you've put together either before you were penned or while you're going through the process with another CCIM? Do you have one that you could share?
Oh, have I done another deal with a CCIM? I don't remember if I have done. I'm sure I have.
That's okay.
I'm sure I have done a deal with another CCIM, but is a different level of transaction when it's another CCIM. Like, uh, there's like a mutual respect level. Like right now, we're getting a referral from New York because of one of our brokers. And we're negotiating on the referral because they're not going to transact here and we're going to do all the work. And I wouldn't have to do that really with another CCIM, negotiate on the referral aspect so much. And I think we have a mutual respect for each other as designees. So uh, I don't know if that really answered your question, Amy, because I've done deals, but I can't remember if I've done any with, I'm sure I have done a deal with a CCIM. Um, but interesting deals. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I have lots of stories.
I think that it's when you point out the just the level of respect that people have for each other. Anytime we share that common thread of or path to success, there is that identifying with, hey, I know what you've been through. I know what, it took to get to this place. And so that's absolutely a great recognition there. So.
Thank you so much.
And this lends right into the next question. Did I hear somebody talking just now? No. This lends right into the next question. What are you working on right now as a CCIM?
I have a very large property. Well, large in what it used to be. It's an acre downtown Palatine. It's currently a concert venue, Dirty Nellies, and we're looking for redevelopment or reconcept idea. And I've been working through that, whether it be rebuilding the business so that we can sell it that way. And that's one of the main focuses right now that I have for uh, my transactions. But development is probably what I would lean into next after this.
I love that. And we do have one more question, but I do want to greet our president, Chirayu Patel. I think he just popped on and popped off. He might be having some difficulties, but just wanted to say hello to him while he was here. Let me get to the question. The question is,
And I do want to mention Devin Rowland, who's on this call, who was on my panel when I first announced that I was going to be CCIM, or I was really told that I was going to be CCIM. We are working on a deal together in the South Loop. So thank you, Devin, for that.
I just saw that in the chat and I laughed.
Keep kicking butt.
Toy Robertson, who actually happens to be another one of my mentees, asks, what are the top must-have tools and platforms you would recommend to generate leads, analyze deals? That's one part. The other part is, what's a realistic time frame from start to finish to closing a transaction? And this is pertaining to the retail industry, since that's what you're in. So that's a two-parter.
Sure. So this property in Palatine, I've had listed for almost 2 years, but we had to wait for another contract to cancel for 2 years. So that we weren't a part of before we can put it together. I want to say like, and then I have another transaction that I did in Cicero that we transacted in like 60 days. So, which is not the usual short time period for a commercial transaction. I do a lot of landlord rep, and sometimes that takes on the retail side, build out and things could take 1 to 2 years before you close, or it just depends on the type of property. But I would say that you can do it in, getting towards the end of the year. I think there's going to be a lot of cash available. A lot of people wanting to spend cash. If you have multifamily, it's going to go pretty quick, probably off market in any market, just because multifamily is always popular. So I think, anywhere from 60 days to 2 years is the normal for a commercial real estate transaction for me. Must have tools and platforms. I don't know. I started 20 years ago. I had to be really resourceful. So a lot of the chambers that we talked about will list your properties for you, and they will have businesses seeking sites, and they will contact you directly. So for me, it's always about networking and relationships. I do go to ICSC every year just because I am in retail, and you get in front of a lot of national retailers. They actually host an aldermanic event in Chicago every year. That is one of my favorite events because you get to talk to, I want to say probably half of the aldermen show up to this event. And it's helped me quite a bit. Like one of the aldermen helped me kick out a tenant that we couldn't get out. She did it in like 24 hours. So
And that was because of building that relationship with that alderman at that.
absolutely.
And tell them what ICSC is. I know we're just used to talking it, but
It used to stand for International Council of Shopping Centers, but I don't know what they renamed it to. But it is a retail focused conference internationally. And the largest one is in Vegas, but we just had our Chicago one. It was during the CCIM Fall Forum because I wasn't able to attend. It's one day in Chicago, but they used to throw the most elaborate parties, networking events. And you get to do a lot of deals there too. And
and
I'm
it
a
is membership.
face-to-face person.
Yeah.
It is membership based, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
it is.
can jump in there too. So ICSC is now just known as ICSC. So
Yeah.
they dropped the it's
name.
sort of like IBM is now just known as IBM instead of the words that
Oh, thanks. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
so it's just ICSC now, and they are the Association for Retail Real Estate. So
Okay.
it's sort of like the the NAR for Realtors, ICSC is the Association for Retail Real Estate Professionals, and they used to have a very robust certification program that has sort of taken a side to kind of rebuild. So, but yes, it's a great place to be able to be in front of developers, tenants, other practitioners all in one place, especially in May.
And one
And if
thing
you
I love.
guys don't know Amy Hall, she is a big connector as well.
She is. She is. If you guys don't know with ICSC and a lot of other platforms, but specifically ICSC, because I do the aldermanics every time they come, they have a platform where you can look up all the attendees before you get there to see who you purposely and intentionally want to connect with to, make the best use of your time while you're having fun doing everything else, right? They do have some of the best venues that they have these events at, just to enhance that experience. But there's a book. There's a book because at these events, like she said, there are, all sorts of people there. Their representatives for these large national retailers are there. And this book that you can get as a member and probably an exclusive type member. So I've heard through the grapevine, there's a book that lists these representatives for these national retailers and their contact information and all of those good things. So become a part of these various associations, so that you can benefit from some of this information to be able to have some connectors in between your connections, if that makes sense. We've got about 5 minutes left. I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Dave, if he's not gone already. If I have interest in multifamily, one last question, and retail, do you have any feedback as to which is an easier start?
Oh, probably multifamily, because if you already have clients that do like 2 to 4 units, multifamily is easier to get into. I do a lot of single tenant retail, so that is kind of easy because you're not working with multiple tenants. I think that's the part that I don't love the most is the multi-tenant aspect of multifamily. But I mean, there's retail properties that have multi-tenants too. Um, so, but for me, realistically, the retail aspect is because it could be anything more so than multifamily is just housing, but we do need housing. And I think these multifamily housing communities can be changed just a little bit to better serve our communities.
Agree. We've got about 3 minutes left. Thank you so much, Myra, for being with us, for your presence, just for your information. Give us a quote to land on to guide us in our journey that has meant something to you over the years.
Oh my gosh. So if you guys don't know Dina Zimmerman, she is on her way to the CCIM, and she is the retail queen of Chicago. And she in retail real estate has given me one of the best quotes is retail always reinvents itself. And I think that's why I love retail so much, because the opportunity to reinvent itself. And one of my favorite personal quotes is the best is yet to come.
I love those. And on that note, we know the best is yet to come for you, Myra. You have a huge history, and I know you're not sharing and patting your back, but Myra is the immediate past president of NICAR, which is the National Association for Commercial Real Estate. So you did get that done during your presidency, as
I
if that
did.
already. So kudos to you. We hope to have you back again soon with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just an announcement to everyone. Thank you for attending. Our next CCIM chat is January 22nd, same bat time, same bat channel. We hope you attend. Bring someone with you. If you have any questions, CCIM IL mentorship at gmail.com, or Cynthia, please share the chapter's email as well for general chapter information. Thank you guys for coming out. Have a great day.